This is how you reach Volcano Manor and where to find the map fragments for this location. I'll also be showing you how to unlock each site of grace and reach all of the bosses within the location, including the secret optional one. And I do recommend defeating that secret boss because it unlocks the Blasphemous Blade, which is one of the best great swords in the entire game. We'll be walking through side by side with a map so you know exactly where you're going. However, you should know that there are a few shortcuts to reach Volcano Manor, and I'll link those other methods below. But this video is covering the main way to get there, which is still very easy. So Volcano Manor is located in this misty, unexplored section of the map. To actually get to this location, what you need to do is from the first step resting spot, you're going to go all the way north to the Gatefront Ruins. Then you're going to go either through Stormvale Castle, or you can go all the way around it over here to the lake-facing cliffs. And then you can go north through the lakes all the way over to the Academy Gate Town. So assuming you skipped or finished the Academy, you would be traveling all the way north through the lake here, and then you'll find an updraft just at the end of the lake over here. And you can use Torrent to jump onto this cliff where you'll find the East Rea Lucaria Gates. Then if you travel down the highway here, you'll then find the Grand Lift of Dectus. I'm assuming you've already activated the lift with both halves of the Dectus medallion. If you haven't, follow my other guide link down below in the description. So starting from the Grand Lift of Dectus here on the map, we're going to walk all the way down this pathway to the northeast, and I'm going to put a map marker just over here. Then we're going to continue north up this pathway and around the cliff to the right here, and then we're going to reach this broken bridge just here. That's the first step of our journey. So from the Grand Lift of Dectus here, we're going to ride north up the path here, and I've already set those beacons in the distance over there, but we're literally just going to ride northeast down the stone pathway, and you really can't go wrong here. Then we're going to take a left off the highway and continuing on the path. You can actually see there is a resting spot just to the right there, but we're just continuing north up the stone pathway. And you will actually find just on the left of the path here, there is a golden seed you can use to upgrade your flask. And then if you don't have the map fragment for this first area, it's literally right in front of us before we head into the forest here on the left hand side. And then we can continue on through the forest ahead of us. Now we'll see a bunch of windmills and an Erd tree in the distance, and we can just loop around to the east here where we're going to see that broken bridge that I showed you on the map earlier. That is where we're going to want to go. So literally just follow the stone path. And here we are at the end where the broken bridge is, another resting spot of grace. And now what we're going to do is just on the right hand side here is we're going to activate this teleporter. Say yes, we'd like to travel to another location. That is going to take us all the way across this broken bridge. You can see where we came from in the distance there. So looking back to the other side of the bridge here, we're going to ride to the east, just down this cliff edge. Now you don't want to jump down to the right because you'll die from the fall damage, but we are just going to ride down here to the southeast, and then we can loop back around and under the bridge because you can see that there's another site of grace here that we can just grab as a checkpoint. And now we're at the Road of Inquiry side path, and from this location we're just going to follow this pathway down over here. So from the site of grace we're now heading southwest, and then you're going to see a road just here, and you can literally just follow this road all the way to the next location. So pretty easy to do. I've obviously already marked the beacons to make it super obvious for you guys. You can actually now see in the distance there Volcano Manor, but let's stick to the pathway in front of us so we don't get confused here. There are a bunch of other secrets, locations, and even dungeons around this area, but obviously I'm just doing a quick walkthrough for you guys. So on the path, we're going to eventually get to this cliff area with a broken carriage, and then we're going to pass a rope bridge, which is going to take us to the next site of grace just on the left hand side of Mount Gelmir. From the site of grace, we're going to ride into this war zone, and we're going to keep to the left hand side and just follow this cliff along the left hand side here along. And we kind of want to avoid these big spinning machines of death. And then we're going to come down here, just carry on following the wall to the left hand side, and then we're going to jump off Torrent once you get to this ladder here, and we're going to start climbing as quick as we can, because if you look behind us, there it is. So eventually when you reach the top here, we're going to go round to the left because there is another checkpoint, another site of grace just here. And now if we look behind us and get on torrent, we can see there's kind of like a battlefield right ahead there. That's where you need to go next. And just ride through the battlefield. Doesn't really matter which direction you go, just go to the right of the big watchtower here. And you're going to see like these two big rocks in the distance. Just ignore all the enemies because we're playing Elden Ring. We do not simply fight the enemies, we just run past them. And then on the other side, we're going to see there's a big ladder. Now you're going to want to run and jump off torrent here because there's a grafted scion that's going to jump out of the sky. So once again, we're just going to run up the stairs before he can actually hit us. You can see him down there being very angry. He's very upset about that. He was waiting for a long time to try and ambush you. And now we're at the top of this first ladder. So the next ladder, don't go up that one. Go to the left and you're going to find another ladder just here. This is the ladder you want to take. See Volcano Manor in the distance there and like 1 pixel of bird. And now we have reached the top of this ladder and you can already see the next one just over there. And there's also a merchant here that you can shop with. He sells the Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 20. He also sells the Confessor and the Guilty Hood. After you're done there, we'll go up that ladder that I pointed up earlier. It's the only other option to climb up here. And here we are at the top of the ladder finally. So let's mount up on torrent now and we're just going to ride to the west. Ignore these enemies. Quite annoying to go up the ladders again if you have to. And we're just going to ride off this cliff to the west and you'll see a giant rope bridge with another site of grace in the distance there. So let's go to the site of grace first. Now we're at the 9th Mount Gelmer campsite. And now finally you can actually see where the map fragment is located. So we're going to put a beacon there. We're going to put another one just over here. From this resting spot, here's how you actually get to the map fragment. So you just cross that rope bridge there. We're going to use this updraft to jump into a massive boss fight, which we're going to completely ignore here. The full-grown falling star beast. A pretty awesome boss actually to defeat, but we're going to ride over to the right and down this cliff. And then we're going to drop down to the left and just follow on down this cliff. Now, Volcano Manor entrance is just over there, but we're not going there yet. We're going to get the map fragment first. So we're going to look around to the right where I put the pathway here. And you can see the beacon I placed earlier in the distance. And we're just going to follow this pathway all the way around here and then back around to the map fragments below. Just watch out for the enemies as you go. There's quite a few of them. And you can see the other beacon I placed over there where the map fragment is. So let's just go ahead and drop down using our jump ability to avoid full damage. And then we're going to get that map fragment just there. And if we carry on riding underneath this massive cliff, you'll find another resting spot of grace to activate before this big giant hand monster gets to you. And there is another area you can go and explore down here, but I'm not going to do it in this video. You can check out the 100% completion guide for this area if you want to do that. We have now unlocked the whole map for Volcano Manor, as you can see. So now we actually need to get into the manor itself. So we're going to retrace our footsteps back past the map marker here to the west. And we're just going to go back up this cliff basically to the actual entrance to the manor itself. But I just wanted to show you guys where to get the map fragment for the area first because it is pretty confusing. Now we can just retrace our steps along the path and there is another golden seedling there if you want to grab it. And now we can see Volcano Manor in the distance there because we're back on top and it's a pretty easy location to enter into. Just ignore the giant boss in front of it unless you want to try and defeat him. And we're just going to go straight into the entrance. We can jump off torrent because we can't actually ride him in here. And just avoid all the projectiles. And now we can actually open the doors to Volcano Manor. And here we are inside Volcano Manor. And right in front of you, just over the table here, you're going to find the first resting spot of grace. And also, now you're here in Volcano Manor, if you do go up the stairs here, there's a pretty cool weapon you can get if you get invaded. Next, we're going to speak to Tanith and say that we're going to join the Volcano Manor. She's then going to give us the drawing room key, which we need to open a door. So now we have the key after starting her quest line. You don't actually need to do her quest line. You can fail it. There's no implications or anything. All we want is the key to access her drawing room, which is the first door on the right here. And then once you're inside, you're going to find a body that you can loot, the perfume bottle. And then if you walk into this corner where you see a painting hanging ajar on the wall, see there's actually an invisible wall here with a strange snail. A snaky snail that hisses at you. So we're now just going to run past this next section, go straight on and downstairs. Then in the next room, we're going to run to the right. And then on the left here, you can find another staircase. That leads us to the next site of grace. Now we can open this next door to go ahead. So now we want to head to the right-hand side and go over these houses. It's going to be a bit of a running section, but it should be pretty simple to follow along. Just roll past this guy so he misses us. And then we can hop down these houses here and roll off the edge. We can go up the stairs. You will see a boss fog wall, which you can use a stone sword key, but we're going to go to the left here and we're going to walk around, dodge this enemy. Ow. Then jump over here, jump over the next railing to the left of this building, and then we can go inside here. And now we're going to go left and through this next door. Just ignore all the enemies. In fact, you can actually just easily jump over the stairs here and land safely on the wooden staircase. Then we're going to go through this double door, past this enemy here. And if we just go to the right, you'll see this is the next site of grace. So from this resting spot, we're going to head back out the door we came in at. And just to the right, we can now fling open these double doors. Then from here, we can go ahead and drop down. And we can go right and hop over these lava snails and then run around the dried lava. And then we're going to see a staircase on the right-hand side. We're just going to go up the path here and then up the next staircase. And there's going to be a snake guy over here with a whip. If you do kill him, it is going to be a bit easier the next section, but you can just leave him alive. So now we can take up this cage behind him. Sometimes if you don't kill him, he'll hit you with his whip and you'll fall off. So just be wary of that and try and block it. Well, this is going to take us to the palace, the Great Hall. So we're going to run past this mage just here. He has a bit of a delayed attack, but we can still roll past it. And then we're going to go into the Grand Hall here. Up ahead is a boss room with the Godskin Noble. He is vulnerable to sleep potions and sleep arrow spam if you do want an easy fight with him. Once defeated though, you'll get the Godskin Stitcher weapon and the Noble Presence Ash of War. Then at the back of the room, you're going to find the Serpent's Amnion Rhea's questline. If you then turn around, you can activate the Shrine of Grace in the boss room. So after you've rested at the side of grace, we are now going to use this, which is an elevator. But just to show you guys, this is what it looks like when it's up. So pull this lever here because it kind of blends in with the room really well and it's not very obvious that it's even here. This is where we need to go next though. Now we're going to run onto the balcony and around here. And if you actually look off the edge, you'll see that you can quite easily just jump over the balcony here onto this rocky surface below. And now we're going to work our way along this cliff top and over the lava waterfall. You can jump over these lava snails just here. Just make sure you don't land on their back so you fall off. And then just to the left here, we can drop down. And now we can just work our way up the cliff edge. And now we're at the top of the lava waterfall. And now we need to do this next section, which is really annoying. So we're going to run and jump onto here. And now we're going to see a big war machine come and attack us. So let's go ahead and dodge his first attack like that. Let him fire it off into the distance. And now we can jump over the lava and we just want to continue to roll across it here. And you can pretty much just about make it so you don't die. Run to the left and then go into this small room and through the other side. And now we're going to find this ladder here. And we're going to want to heal ourselves once we reach the top of this. Now if we take a left, do take care of this enemy right ahead of you here because he absolutely goes crazy when he sees you. And he does a lot of fire damage. But if we run past him, we can then make it through this other room to the northeast. We now need to open this door. Which is kind of annoying because he's going to be trying to run up behind you here if he didn't channel his attack. Now we can go into this next room and basically just run up the stairs all the way to the top and then to the left. And through this open door. And now outside you're going to see a teleporter, so we're going to go ahead and say yes, we want to travel here. If you quickly select yes, you'll get iframe immunity here to use the teleporter. And now you'll load into a secret optional boss location. So we're just going to head down the stairs and through the fog wall to begin this battle. And you're going to want to take and equip the Serpent's Hunter's Spear on the left. This is actually a unique weapon that is specifically buffed for this boss fight. It has massive range, so all your attacks can actually hit the boss from miles away, even quite a safe distance at times. It's actually really fun to use and it makes the boss fight much easier. Once you get used to the Serpent's attacks and openings, it becomes a pretty easy fight. Once defeated though, there's another boss fight straight after, with the Lord of Blasphemy, so good luck. Defeating him will then reward you with his Remembrance and Great Rune. Make sure that you don't forget to loot the Eye Surcoat that he drops after defeating him. It's just going to be like a white glowing thing on the floor here. Then you can activate the Side of Grace here and return to the Round Table Hold and turn his Remembrance in for either the Rykard Ransor Magma Sorcery, which is kind of like the fire skulls he uses in the boss fight, or arguably the best greatsword in the entire game, the Blasphemous Blade. After this, to progress onwards with the main story, you're going to want to head through the capital into the snow region, and you can check out my guide on how to get there right here or from the link in the description below, and leave a like if you found this one helpful.